Last week you would have heard Liberty and Helen talk through who is Jesus and the fact that he came to earth to live and to die to save us. And this week we're looking at what does he need to save us from. So I've got my good friend Ben.
Hello.
How are you, mate?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, yeah, very good, thank you. Ben, tell us about this philosopher dude.
This philosopher dude?
Yes.
You talking about Epicurus?
Of course I am, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Epicurus was an ancient Greek philosopher who argued that the end goal of man, the purpose in life, is comfort, pleasure, and the absence of suffering. And his philosophy, I think, very much has made its way into the modern world. I mean, how many times have you heard the most important thing in life is to do what makes you happy? We all seem to want pleasure and comfort, and we will do anything we can to gain that and avoid suffering.
And the opposite to that is that we live in a society where we never want to talk about death, and we've got this fear of what happens next and the fear of dying. A friend of mine a few weeks ago, I was messaging her on Instagram to catch up, an old school friend, and then 3 days later I got the news that she'd passed away. And the reality of that moment hit home that life isn't supposed to be this way. That feels like a life robbed. Death is a reality and we cannot escape it.
And the question then is, why is the world like this? Why is the world the way it was not meant to be? Why does everyone die? I was in a lung clinic a couple of years ago, and I had two patients back to back. The first one was a middle-aged homeless man who had no friends, no family, no job, no home. And then immediately after him, I had this very rich, well-dressed businessman from America. They were the polar opposites when it comes to society. And yet, they both had exactly the same condition and needed exactly the same treatment. And the Bible teaches it is that way in all of us when it comes to sin.
As we heard last week, the world wasn't supposed to be this way. As we've explored today, the world is not the way that it should be. And that's because we were created to be in relationship with God. But instead we stuck our two fingers up at God and said, you know what, I want to go my own way. I want to be the king of my own life. I don't need anything to do with you.
And because God is a just God, he needs to judge sin and punish us in what the Bible calls hell. Now, many people find this really hard, the idea that God will judge us and punish us. But actually, judgment is a good thing, because it means how I treat you matters to God, how you treat me matters to God, how we treat the world matters to God. Because God is God of justice, injustices matter to him. Police discrimination matters to God. Abuse matters to God. Destruction of this planet matters to God. It is because God is God of justice, because he is good, that he has to judge sin.
And that is exactly why Jesus Christ is the greatest news in the entire world. That's exactly why Jesus is the answer. Because on the cross, Jesus takes the sin and the punishment that we deserve, the judgment of God that Ben's just spoken about. The judgment has to go somewhere. And Jesus takes it on himself and he restores our relationship back to God. And it's not just to save us from our present reality. He doesn't just save us so that we don't have to deal with the punishment in this life. He saves us for a better future. And that future is to live with him forever in eternity after we die.